Yo, hey, I'm trying something different. There's gonna be some gameplay in the background. Let me know what you guys think. It's gonna be a deviation from what I usually do. I'm gonna do a story time, I guess. See where this goes. If I should do another in the future, let me know down in the comments. Get this off my chest. So, I was in high school back in 2020, my junior to senior year. I remember it was like New Year's sometime. Then those headlines of virus in Wuhan in China, that bad soup, pictures of them erecting, making those tents and stuff in China to quarantine those people. Thought, oh, that's weird. It'll just be like Ebola, huh? Won't affect us. I'll go on about my business, enjoying the holidays, sitting in class, and Trump is the president at the time. A moment all this stuff is crazy stuff is happening, the first cases dropping and lockdowns and all this stuff happens. We're sitting in class, all the other people I go to school with are talking, and the teachers have that look on their face like they don't know what the fuck is going on either, or have no idea anymore if we're having school tomorrow or not. People aren't showing up, nobody just cares, or everybody's just scared or something. I think at that first month or two, they didn't have things set up. They didn't have Zoom and all that stuff. They set that up later. Yet, so that was like February. That was March of 2020 when all that stuff was happening, where they just started locking down everything. And that first month, 2 weeks, everybody thought that the lockdowns would end eventually. And most students thought of it like an extended vacation or spring break or whatever. Come by like April, we were still in lockdowns, and the schools was like, oh shit, we need to do something. So they start sending people one by one to grab laptops and whatever from the school. Or I think they might not like have done that anything until the next school year. It's kind of hard to remember. The BLM protests were happening, George Floyd, the power outages, the toilet paper runs, all that crazy stuff was happening in the midst of the global crisis that was happening. It's like a once in a lifetime thing. You get such a weird disconnected feelings in your room too much. It's a great thing as an introvert playing games and stuff, but the moment of like the amount of negligent damage it does to like your growth and development as a person is bad. It's like a way to counteract that negligence and that shift in the timeline of events, because it just feels like everything just changed after COVID, because it's like a paradigm shift. Because some bad soup or Wuhan virus, it's like the butterfly, like it just changed your entire perception of the future in your head, just changed like that, and it's like everything was different, whatever. And Trump, being in office, being the guy he is, like it's just like a perfect storm. This perfect storm made me rethink my plans for the future, and I was thinking trades, but I was thinking some crazy thing was going to happen, but it never did. Thank God. I walked to my nearest recruiter for the army and got locked in that future soldier program, which is like a 6 month, well, it was 6 months, but it's just like a little waiting list that they put you on when you're not exactly graduated or ready, like out of high school, or you just had like something to do. Like it's like a little waiting thing, so that they like send you through MEPS, get all the tests, get your ASVABs, get all the things done, and just get you through, and then you're like ready. So like whenever you graduate or whatever, you're ready to like get sent in, you're just ready. So I was like in like the June 2021, that batch of fresh recruits coming into the army. I was sending in that group to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. So I remember almost quitting, well, in the process of getting into the army. I had acid reflux a lot whenever I exercise, a lot of physical stuff. I remember I had that condition. We do like burpees or whatever in the recruiter's office, and I think after we ran laps in the alley, like a mock pacer test, you run back and forth between the cones. I couldn't get down at first. I was super slow, and I was trying to be '89 Delta. Yeah. I was trying to be EOD, explosive ordnance disposal, but I couldn't get it because they have like a gold standard where they're like up with like the infantry guys, so I couldn't get the times down, so I had to like go for like Seaburn or something, um, which is like more like a supply sort of on the back end job. It's a bit more chill and less stricter for the pacer to get in and be less strenuous exercise. I remember, I remember going back and forth doing that and vomiting the first time on the pacer test. I vomited trying to take it, and then the recruiter was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I was like, I'm bent over here just hurling, and all the other recruits of people just looking at me just like I'm just throwing up. And it's like a regular feeling, just always vomiting all the time. Like I forget how many times I just vomited over the years, just cause it just like you get like a morning sickness, like anxiety thing from just like sometimes it's just like being around people, or it's like just exercising and just running way too much in the morning. It just makes me sick, and it always been like that throughout the entire time of me just being around. So yeah, so I had that problem getting in, and it's not even like me eating food or anything. I just vomit water or whatever. So the recruiter is like, don't worry about it. And I was sort of out of shape too. So like, oh, the drill sergeant will get you in shape. Don't worry about it. You'll get better. Just drink lots of water, pretty much. Which is like just drink water. Don't eat a lot of food. Don't eat anything at all. Just drink water. Get the weight down. Drink the go-go juice. It was like a running joke that there's some go-go juice you drink that'll just make you just drop calories. Probably. I don't know. They didn't have Ozempic back then. But he's making a joke like that at me, and I was like, what the, okay. But okay. Height and weight, I passed my height and weight, eventually got my weight down, passed that pacer test, all that stuff, and then I got in. I was good, got through all the MEP stuff, and then my graduation happened in May. It just felt weird not seeing all those people for like a year and a half. You didn't see like your friends, you didn't see nobody, like all those people you recognize. I've been going to school, it's like the same school districts, you see like the same people for like a long time, and then you don't see them, you just see these faces on the screen, just a wall of faces on the screen, and it's just like, yeah, it's just here, you use your Quizlet and stuff, you cheat on most of the stuff, you don't really learn anything. I was trying to take the computer programming, coding or something class, and you didn't really learn anything. Everybody just used Quizlet, and I had to get out of that stuff. A lot of the classes, nobody was really learning anything. Everybody's just using Quizlet, besides like maybe like writing a paper on occasion. But nowadays people got ChatGPT, all this crazy stuff, so it was honestly getting kind of cooked anyway. But yeah, just graduation happened. See everybody over a computer screen, and then it's like, bye bye, here's your diploma, and I'm off to the military because I don't want to be at home. I don't want to be as far away. I want to be as far away as possible from where I'm from. Only got like a few friends I kept in touch with by chatting, but then it's like just I don't need you anymore. Bye. With most of your high school thing, since COVID, it's just like, it's like a forced proximity thing. They only messed with you because they had to be there, and you just had to be there for that period of time. It's an unspoken social contract that gets broken as soon as high school graduation day is over. A lot of people you think you're tight with are just gonna not really mess with you anymore, and then COVID just kind of amplified that social distancing, that sort of, like it just kind of just amplified that trend. It wasn't really like a socially acceptable positive skill. It's kind of weird though that it's just like, that's just how it was operating. How do you stop people from social distancing when it's no longer necessary anymore? where you ingrain this isolationist behavior in people. Anyway, after graduation, you spend a day in a hotel in Chicago before being sent off on a plane to Missouri. Okay, so I go in the Army June of 2021 that year. I do my basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Fort Lost in the Woods. I did my AIT to become a CBRN, a chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear specialist. It's kind of a support job along supply. You're not really used for anything besides like gas mask and gas chamber training, for CS tier gas trainings and etc. Just training the company, training the soldiers on the equipment, maintaining your MOP gear, your JS list, your joint service, lightweight integrated suit technology, it's basically like it comes in like a package when they like go to CIF, which is the central issue facility. Whenever you go to like a it's there's real ones and then there's ones for training. Everybody gets ones for training from their CBRN, their company CBRN, to like make sure people know how to react to like a gas attack, even though there's the Geneva Convention and all this stuff. It's such a niche thing in the reality of us not really we're not really getting experience in this stuff, honestly, besides like tear gas and stuff like that. That's like the one okay scenario where it's like, okay, yeah, tear gas, that's the one gas like most of the soldiers are familiar with is CS gas, and that's what we're allowed to train with and stuff. So like besides that, besides like your AIT after basic, that past that like 3, 4, 5 months of you being in, you're not gonna really get in your hazmat suits again, your level A, B, C's, your PPE, which is like pretty much this Tyvek suit. If you know what it is, it's like this. There's the bubble one. Your level A is a complete encapsulation. There's pretty much like the Among Us suit in space. Like pretty much any space suit is a level A. A level B is pretty much like a hood suit, but it has a mask on it. Your level, it's like a hood, and it has like tape to like seal you in. That's the level B. It's a hood, tape, mask, and then air supply. It's a scuba, not scuba, but a SCBA, a self-contained breathing apparatus. A scuba is like for diving. Not. They're two different things. And you have your level C's and D's. On like the classification list, the JS list is it's like a level C because it doesn't have the tape, it doesn't have the tank. You're using respirators and stuff, so it's mostly level C protection at least, because like it is like pretty bare bones, the bare necessities. If there was like a chemical attack, you're not immediately like just out there with your skin. It's the bare minimum to keep you protected, and respirators that'll mostly drown out most hazardous things, but they won't block everything. It's not a completely thing, so you gotta know like what chemical it is, because certain respirators don't block for certain types of chemicals. You have to know these stuffs. But that's why there's also like air, but like most people aren't going to use air, and it's very expensive. So yeah, respirators, and basically that level CJS list most people, and just bare necessities. You get trained on like how to wipe your face down with this gooey substance if you ever get it on your skin. You do decon. We ran mass decon lines where we get litters, and we have like people having like fake seizures, or just fake, like just run like a line of your ambulatory, non-ambulatory, pretty much people that are able to walk on their own and are like lucid, able to follow instructions, and the people that are just out, like just knocked out, like just like that. Run those different lines, and running the decon lines, you want to always have the water running. You're going to have like a hot zone and a cold zone, and you don't want your water You don't want your stuff running downhill or downwind. You're spreading contamination. So you have to do it like a certain way. And there's tons of stuff on it, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. That AIT was kind of fun. I don't want to get into too much detail, but I'm trying to run the story. Um, Pretty much as a Seaburn, on a day-to-day basis, you're gonna have most fun in AIT and basic, and then when you get to your job, you're just gonna be like, dang, this is regular. Like, this is like, man. Yeah, and that just kind of happens. But nice thing was, for Seaburns, they get like a rotation. They're really like, most of them 50%, most of them 60% of them get sent to Korea for like at least 1 year. And then during COVID, there was like a lot of restrictions over there. I got sent to Korea right after basic in November 2021. I got sent to Korea, and I spent a year over there until 2022. The regulators for the military in Korea is called the USFK, the United States Forces of Korea. The regulating body is like the Korean generals who would talk to the American generals and stuff. They would have to follow these COVID orders brought down by the Korean government. So we had to stay in Humphreys, and Camp Humphreys is the largest overseas military base in a foreign country that we have. It's like pretty much like a Vegas strip. It's like you just see the palm trees, the little avenue streets and stuff with the little grass in the centers, and it's lined up, and the barracks look like they just kind of float up like the little hotels on like the Vegas strip. Like it's so much money just poured into that place. It's just like you just see it, you go like, man, no other base really looks like this, does it? Just like it's really like, it's this thing you have to see, just the amount of money poured into that thing. That's taxpayer money right there. And you're just like, man, just here for a year, right? Just enjoying it. It's just a dream. Trying to get back into that. So we had to stay. So with the COVID orders, you had to stay at Humphreys for days on end. You had to get like trays and shit, and they were doing like the social distancing stuff, trying to like quarantine people. Like, okay, you just got here, you gotta stay in your room for like 4 or 5 days, or limit like your social grouping, whatever they called it, share that room with whoever, the heck they put in there with you until your unit comes and picks you up. This doesn't happen 1 or 2 times. It happens like a lot, like 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You have to put up with just waiting and waiting days on end. You're just like getting this stupid food. You're not really going out and stuff. It's just like, it was like really slow down. Like military, like it was like a bit of a free ride. The COVID bullshit, it slowed down everything. Like in the military career, was probably most days me just screwing off and doing the bare minimum of work so I could go back to my room and play on DBD, Dead by Daylight, on my laptop, which I have too many hours in on Steam. I got a PC now though, like a high end, this is RTX GeForce 4070, high power potato, whatever, man. But anyway, just like so much BS. Like, cool. The cool thing is you have Katusas, your Korean soldiers that help you assimilate, and you could ask them questions about Korea or whatever you didn't know. And whenever we would go on trips or find a spot for food, we could ask them for stuff, and it was nice having the Katusas around. So you would have your Rock Army, which is like your regular mandatory service. Rock Army treats their soldiers bad, dude. It's rough, and they put hands on them too. It's really strict. Those Rock Army soldiers, oh man, you wouldn't want to be in there. Dude. Bad time. Bad time. That's why all the Katusas were like the rich kids, their parents had a little bit of extra money or something, or they had extra influence. They had tie-ins to get in the Catusas because it's a lot nicer. They're living with us in the barracks and stuff, and they get to come in and stuff, and it's a little bit more relaxed with them. They get to wear their OSPs because we were laid back because COVID and stuff like that. You know, put the Rock Army stuff, and they started to go to the formations and stuff, but still the Catusas was much nicer. And they just go home on the weekends. They just take a taxi to their home, just spend time with their family and stuff. And they were getting paid like the bare minimum. Like, okay, so like as a private, you were earning like your paychecks would be about like $1,400, $1,600. Now the Catusas were earning like $200 a month for mandatory service. Like, imagine that is robbery. And as a specialist, when I became a specialist, this is later. Like I was earning like $2,000, but it's like tax free in barracks. But it's still not a much. But it's more if you have like wife and kids and stuff, and etc. You're in way more because of that BAH money comes in and just bounces up the checks and stuff. But mostly, I was lonely though. I went out like once to a club at most, but I'm like pretty shy, introverted dude that keeps to himself. So trying to get me to go out and, you know, fucking be somewhat social in a club is impossible. I worked in a SATCOM, a 25 Sierra series company. Every person was like a satellite communications person, and it was like really chill even with COVID. So we have the SATCOM and we have the HQ. The HQ is just like a regular company building, and we're like all the administrative, the PAC people that just run paperwork all the time, and the first sergeant and commander was and then the SATCOM facility is like this giant multi-million-dollar satellite on the hill. It's just sitting there. It's cool, and you just go in. It's all card and key card and stuff. Go in, and it's just like a white floor, just sterilized in there. It's just like another realm, another dimension. You step in there, it's clean and stuff. You know, it's very different. I don't want to talk too much about it, but yeah, it was cool working with those people. It's a calm, cozy, most of the days, very cordial company. It's like kind of relaxed compared to other companies, except when it wasn't. I got a story. One day they had a lockdown on base. I had restriction on social gatherings. My sergeants and platoon sergeants at the time wanted to have a barbecue, right? So it sounded nice getting some ribs or burgers on the down low versus just sitting at the DFAC. But tell me why it turns into a fucking alcoholic drinking bowl and poker game in the fucking company conference room. These dumbasses. It was private so and staff sergeant Hua, and it's just like they do all these EO, equal opportunity, like, you know, non-fraternization, equal opportunity, like in like you know, non-hostile work environment and dumbass power slides. Like all the time, like you'd be sitting there like 2-3 hours every day. Everybody just come in here, sit down, and just sit through power slides. They do that every week, every 2 weeks. They do some power slides and just sit down. And I had to do my Seaburn slides too once in a while, and it's just be me going over like the same stuff. Everybody put on your mask. This is how you do this and that, and then maybe like a gas chamber every 2-3 months or so. But anyway, they had this stupid barbecue idea, and we're not supposed to be doing it. And then it's like, man, I was like, they're just like drinking out of this bowl and just flipping cards. And we had a brand new sergeant coming in too that was gonna replace the other supply NCO, and she's like brand new there. There's like just getting in, and it really sucked because like it's just like, man, because they were having fun. Like I genuinely actually wanted to stay because I like there, right? Everybody's cool and stuff, but like I was like, man, if the first sergeant or somebody just walks in and sees this, they're just gonna lose. They're just gonna flip their top. This is gonna be crazy. And it happened. The commander came back for like her laptop. She forgot her laptop. It was on a weekend. It was like a Saturday or something. She came back for a laptop or something. The 8 people, like 8, 10 people that were in there, just got, just smoked. They just like, everybody was just doing push-ups, getting smoked in there. They just got fucked. And then Article 15s happen. Get in trouble. Article 15's bad. Punishment, demotion, all this stuff. Platoon Sarge wasn't in charge no more. Nobody asked. Nobody said any questions. Everybody just like, oh, that happened. People just gossip and stuff. I got interrogated because I was still underage for drinking at that time. But I said I just got food and left, so they didn't bother me. Honestly, Korea was, other than that, Korea was probably nice. It's very fun. A lot of hills, a lot of hikes, a lot of outdoor activities and stuff. Nicest part for me because people were very open. They treat you like family over there, like not on some fake other level stuff. It's like people actually like come in, check on you. Hey, you want to go here? I'm going here. They like seek you out and stuff. Get people to come with you and stuff. Like it was very nice, dude. Like everybody's looking for someone to hang out with there. Like it's very good. You get along. People actually generally treat you like family over there, which is nice. They were less greedy with their business, and it was like people more open to sharing stuff and time with you. Like even like your sergeants would like try to be your friends and stuff because everybody just wanted hang out and just go see Korea and just go have fun and stuff. Like on the down low, they do some crazy stuff though. Man, and they be married too. They be, man, it's like nah, don't want to put nobody out there. But like, mostly deployed overseas units. They get along like family, like Germany, Poland, all those places. It's like you're on a vacay together a bit, and you want to explore and stuff. And I learned a lot over there, a lot of experiences. The tours, the museums, the nature walks, the civilian runs for PT. This is giant mountain next to Camp Carroll, which is like in the Wagwon, Daegu area. It's like middle, southern, somewhere in there part of the Korean peninsula, the southern part of South Korea. It's like Mount 301 or something. We always run up this mountain. It's like there's like a memorial at the top where like these during like the Korean War, these Korean soldiers got massacred by like North Koreans or something masquerading as South Koreans, and they got massacred on top of the hill. And we would like run up this giant hill, like not some fake American hill. Like these Korean hills are crazy. They'll take you out. You'll be sweating, exhausted, just like. That was PT though, and we'd be doing that in civvies, running up the hills, up Wagwon, just around the base and stuff. It was really fun. Yeah, those are fun. And the first sergeant was like a CrossFit instructor too, so you get real creative too. But like most days, it was pretty chill though. It was nice. On like some vacay stuff, like it's like a step away from Hawaii. It was really good though. Yeah, I really enjoyed Korea. November 13th of 2022, or sometime near around my birthday, I fly back to the States and got to the most happiest place on earth called Fort Riley, Kansas. That bitch was cold as fuck. Back in the States, COVID had mostly died down at this point. Most people really didn't give a crap about wearing masks and had to adjust from wearing it all the time. In Korea, those MFers did not play on masks. It was colder than a mug that winter. And in Kansas, I was being put in an MP unit, and the unit was deployed when I got there, so nobody was there. It was just a skeleton crew. And just like broken people. There was a pregnant girl. She was there, and just like nobody was really there. Nobody was really doing work or nothing. Nobody really cared. So you didn't have to like show up for the formation and all this BS. You could like kind of sham, which is another word for like bullshitting, as much as possible. So it's like no parade arrest, no formations, no sergeant major breathing down people's ass, because the sergeant major who was there was chill as fuck. He did not care about no parade arrest. He could just walk up, shake your hand, pat you on the back, like, and talk to you just like a human being, like a bro. Customs and courtesies drive me insane in the military. The crap was so stupid, the hooting and the hollering and all of the bickering and the group punishments. Like, you do that every morning and just be cold, and you go like, oh, you can't wear that, you can't wear like a sweater when it's like 40 degrees outside. You gotta take that off. You gotta be cold, you gotta suffer out here. And it's just miserable, that attitude. I just hated when all that crap would come back when they returned, and it was just peaceful without them for like 6 months when I got there, until like June of 2023 is when they came back. Like sometime like June, May. I was on mailroom duty since when I got there for like the 6 months, and I was even doing my Seaburn job, which was like the supply, gas mask, BS, and trains, like all that crap. But there would be no one to train anyway, so I'd just be like going to my room anyway, like early days, just going in. And you skip the PT formation. There's no formation, like nobody there, just like yeah, just get PT, go pick up at the mail room, get the vehicle keys, go grab the mail, the package, just bring it back to the mail room, leave by the end of the day, and the lunch each day, and go back to my room. Easiest shit I ever had. 6 months of just coasting like this. And then these greasy, bald-headed, sweaty motherfuckers just come off the plane, gotta grab all their luggage off the plane, tons of green duffel bags, heavy as crap, change of command function, new commander, and first sergeant. I'm just lying low under the radar, skipping PT and shit, grabbing the mail, minding my own business. And then the sweaty-ass real sergeant major starts fixing things, morning PT, every day, battalion run, every weekday battalion runs, where it's like all the companies, there's like 4 or 5 other MP companies, whatever, just running together, just like no, it's like the whole entire base, Big Red 1, everybody's just running, a bunch of battalions just running around, and it's just like, don't fall back, or you're gonna get rid up and stuff. Like, I hate that stuff, dude. Oh man, the runs. And I'm like my acid reflux in the morning, just get that morning sickness, just about to hurl over because I'm just sick. And it's like, man, just my stamina is so garbage. Like, I could sprint really fast, but like if you had to do like half a circuit, like sprint, I'll be like in the front, and then like as soon I just run out, and then I'm just like in the back, and eventually they get around to find me out. The sergeant major, all those people were coming back, customs and courtesies, the random barracks inspection, just bullshit, everything was coming back, and they were gonna find me out because I failed the PT test before they got back, and I was slipping, be honest. I was on ABCP, which is the Army Body Composition Program. It's like this stupid program. I hate it so much. It's so bad. The first sergeant I had in Korea, it pretty much gives them the agency to smoke you every day after a regular day of PT. You would have PT on top of PT. So it will be like, imagine like the day ends at like 5, and then it's like, okay, go change, come back, grab your stuff, we're gonna go run with these rates and down this hill, up and down this hill, and do burpees and bear crawl, and we're doing this for like 2-3 hours, like every day. PT on top of PT, and there'll be no break. They could just run you down like that until you get in shape, okay? And you're just running and running and running on top of the running, and we're relay circle weights and on the corners and running. It's tons of running. All the Army does is run. Like in the Navy, you need to swim. The Marines, you need to eat crayons and just be jacked. And the Air Force, you just need to sit in a chair. But with the Army, all you do is run pretty much, and that's like, man, you'll get worn out like that stuff, man. That really wore me down. Okay, the first time I had to do that, and I was almost at like my nerves end with that, but I somehow was able to just knock out that PT test and get over with. But tons of yeah, it sucked. I didn't want to have to do that again. So you get up at like 6 and you get out about like 7 or 8 each day. Like, so that's like, it's longer. That's like a 12-14 hour day every day, just PT on PT after your regular work day. If you're not doing inventories and counting a bunch of random bullshit and doing someone else's job, it's such a stupid thing. You get like dehydrated, fatigued, and tired, and you get your aches on top of everything else, your back, your legs, like everything's just hurting. And that climate, you get less oxygen, the elevation, everything's steep as heck, no flats, no breaks. You're just running up hills, okay, with weights and stuff. It's bad. So I had a fear ABCP, and these guys, these MP guys, I was just a bit scared and intimidated at just shouting. I mean, I gauged from afar. I wasn't really vibing with what I was seeing. I thought they were, kind of a little bit strict over there, and I was just used to like, just coming in, doing my little mailroom thing for 6 months, and just being treated like a civilian, and just kind of just mind my business and stuff, and not really do PT and stuff. And I just got a taste of that. I got a little bit too used to it, and I guess my mental space kind of shifted. And I was about to crash out, and I was about to do something, get out, Alright, I'm not gonna dwell on this part too long. I never had a history of depression or anything that I know of in my family, but I was feeling down and just fucked. Like, I was just torn up by the Army and shit. Like, they just do stuff that just runs you down in a way. It's like the COVID shit was easy mode. It's just laid back a bit. The ACFT was the norm. One leg tuck wasn't shit. Running a 2 mile in 21 and 22 minutes was doable. I have short legs and shit stamina, but somehow I was able to do it. The problem is just, I just wasn't the type of person who'd go out of the way to exercise. I go to the gym now, but at that moment, I wasn't. I try to eat healthier and take care of myself, but whatever, PT we did, whatever PT we did that day or week, and whatever they fed you at the DFAC, that shit maintains your fitness from basic, but gradually it starts declining and starts slipping. You start getting a little heavy. Those COVID lockdowns in Korea happened at least 5 times. Work at home, only essential personnel. That meant my fat ass was sitting down playing DVD, grabbing a thing of ribs or chicken if I can from nearby. Just kind of used to sit around playing video games and shit. Like chicken if you can from nearby. You just kind of used to sitting around playing games and shit. Like the Army, military can only mold or change a person so much. That's why they break you in. And in basic, to create like a blank slate, they can imprint these things on you. But it still didn't change the fact I was still falling, still failing and slipping down. I didn't have an NCO at the time. Like for the 6 months since I got there, skeleton crew, nobody was there. Nobody breathing over my neck. It was freedom, but at the same time, I didn't have an NCO or nobody that was like keeping check on me. Really, I mean, there was people there, but it's just like it's just kind of buddies and stuff. But like, yeah, they came back and they started barking orders at you. You feel like a regular human being for 6 months, then it's that bullshit coming back. I was just sick of it at that point. I don't know where the thought came from. I grabbed a knife and I pulled my arm and I just sort of sliced horizontally across. It was dry and it was just like started like little scratches, and then it was like this mental self-protection barrier that I had to get through, because you can't force yourself to cut yourself, or I can't. So what you do is strum it like a guitar, like you run your hand back and forth across the strings, dry scratching with it like 100 times. Then the blood started running. You get your endorphins and adrenaline or whatever kick in. Then I couldn't feel anything. It's like it was just the adrenaline. All you felt was the adrenaline in your blood pumping. It's like a rush, and I was tearing my arms up before I know it in my barracks room. I sliced over 100 times on each arm. So I'm sitting in there, I'm fucked up. My arms are bleeding and shit. I left the knife in my room next to the sink. I'm banging on people's doors trying to see if someone would answer. Nobody answers, so I just call the police, call the MPs on my base. It's just shitty. So the ambulance comes, they see my arms, looked in the head, so I get put in inpatient for behavioral help and put on high risk as a person that would click themselves. You spend a week in the loony bin. They take all your clothes. They give you pajamas, no phone, no sharp objects. The other people in there were like domestic abuse, other substance abuse, SUI, ideation, high-risk type individuals to cause harm to themselves or others. My arms were effing shredded on the inside, red, black, blue, purple, brown. See all the deep lines and the dry blood, did a bear or a cat scratch you. The other guys in there, we just played Depictionary on the drawing board and just chatted about stuff. We tried to you didn't really talk about why you're in there. Maybe they ask and may be willing to tell them, but everybody eventually came around to, eventually telling their story, and it was a lot of just trauma bond in there, charades and stuff. So it was like you kind of friends with people in there, just to kill time until eventually your commander, first sergeant, command team, whatever, people came and release you. I give you like some positive rehabilitative meditation and coping mechanisms and crap bullshit. I got put on a Prozac derivative called fluoxetine. I was taking that shit to get me back down stable, but I just got hype off that shit instead. Couldn't sleep. I had to go to these daily little rehab meetings after getting out of inpatient for 4 weeks. 2 weeks in that shit to be watched Inside and Out, and the Inside and Out movie, the girl runs away in there, and got the idea. I go AWOL, absent without leave, basically just run away. I'm taking the fluoxetine and stuff, so I'm just like kind of like it's like you're like a little bit like your mood's just up all the time, and you're just kind of burning a lot, and you're a bit more lucidly like vivid. I don't know how to describe the feeling. It's like elation, but it also like stamps your arousal so that you can't really get like erection stuff. But it was like a high-ish feeling. So in my car, I'm in this shitty teal colored, dark greenish Ford Focus, whatever. I was to make it to the Grand Canyon. I write this dumb, awful letter. I'm on Prozac. I forget what exactly I put on the letter. I wrote some crazy stuff on that letter. First Sergeant Commander losing marbles because I'm high risk, which they already had it monitored. They get in trouble for not monitoring this stuff, and they have to like keep a close eye on you and stuff. I don't show up to the formation. They banging on my door and stuff, about to kick that motherfucker in. They find the note. I'm long gone at that point. I was also cutting again at that time too. I was supposed to stop. I was on the rehab plan, and they check in and they ask questions and get one-on-ones and stuff. But I was cutting again, and there's a lake near Fort Riley, right down the old highway. I think I walked that lake a few times. I went to that lake right before throwing all my shit in my car and booking it. I stayed at a hotel in Nebraska one night after running away, and then I get to Wyoming by like mid-Friday, like noon. My phone's beeping and shit and ringing. The lost person's GPS tracking thing is ringing, beeping, and talking to me and telling me they're tracking my location, blah blah blah, you're at risk of this, blah 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 blah. It's making all these crazy noises you never hear before. I turn the phone off. I'm just rolling down that motherfucker, booking it 90, 100. I don't care. I'm just like an hour or two away from the Grand Canyon. This fucking green unmarked Dodge Charger battering ram piece of garbage. You know what they look like. They just roll up on you, just sit behind you a little bit, look at your license plate and stuff. They're just right there behind you, tinted windows. You just know it's over. So he does like a U-E, passes me, does the U-E, speeds up right behind me, and I just like, yeah, you're a cop. And then it's like flashing lights, pulls me over. I'm like, oh fuck, they got me. And then he walks up, go like, how fast, do you know how fast you're going? That's what he said. Do you know how fast you're going? He didn't care how fast I was going. I said no. You know, there's a warrant out for your arrest. Please step out of the vehicle. Are you armed? No. Search my car, handcuffs, blah blah blah. And I sit in a cell for 3 days. And then the commander, he promises me a deal. This MPs, they escort me back to the base and stuff, and I didn't get like a court martial or anything, just like a punishment, because I was still high risk at that moment. So it was some leniency there. So and I continued my program, which I was in. I was like halfway in that thing, and then all of a sudden I just get up and just leave. It's crazy. They wanted me to continue all that stuff, and then eventually they got around to doing the punishment, which it more ties into, I don't want to talk too much about it, but I fucking go back peacefully in the escort. No handcuffs, at least. They were nice enough. The people that came pick me up, they're decent night, and everybody was like, they treat me like a human being. Fuck shit. I got kicked out the mailroom, security clearance gone, not allowed to use a weapon, go to ranges, wasn't allowed to drive by the commander, took the keys and shit. Had to start checking in and getting checked on daily. It took some time. Behavioral health wasn't going to give me a route out, so the commander, after months of shit, said, you know what, failed 2 PT tests. First sergeant wasn't happy about that shit. Eventually I did enough shit, took my articles, did the punishment, stuck around consistently. It didn't make any more trouble. They let me fail the PT tests on record, and yeah, eventually it was a long ass process. It took like 9 to 10 months, and I'm skipping over so many details because I don't want to be, I'm just trying to just tell it and just get it done. Like, that's it. And I'm not willing to tell all the details because it's too much, but you know, it got figured out. But eventually the deed got done. I had a 4-year contract, got out in 3 years. The 4-year contract turned into 3, well, it wasn't really, but like 2 and 11, maybe, yeah, about like 11 months, because I joined June Got out May 15th of 2024. So yeah. And after that, I was a trucker for 4 months with Swift. Hated trucking. It sucked. Don't do it. I quit that crap, and then got into something else. And I'm just working right now, just living. That's a story. Don't want to embellish the details or glorify what I did because it was a shitty thing to do. But I was desperate and I wanted out. That's the story. And yeah. Bye bye.